Well, as if this offseason couldn't get much worse, 2020, it's off to a terrible start. But today, it made a direct impact with my favorite team, the New York Mets, and in such a negative way. You thought, oh, there's no baseball going on. The Mets can't possibly be any worse than they normally are. But wait, they found a way. Jeff Passan dropped this tweet at 3:38 p.m., and it was pretty big news. New York Mets starter Noah Syndergaard has a torn ulnar collateral ligament in his right elbow and is expected to undergo Tommy John surgery in the near future, sources tell ESPN. The procedure will keep him out until at earliest April 2021 and likely into the summer months. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna leave. I'll see you guys. The Mets, I'm out. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. We got a fully healthy season last year from the entire pitching staff, which is unheard of. Like, that was incredibly lucky last year that none of the guys got hurt. Like, I think they almost all made 30 plus starts. They might have even done that. Did Steven Matz make 30 plus starts? Yep. Everybody made about 30 starts last year, which again, unheard of, and you couldn't expect that to happen in 2020. You knew someone was going to go down somewhere. There was going to be a slight injury, a slight hiccup here or there, because it was just too perfect last year. But you didn't expect one of the better pitchers on that staff, Noah Syndergaard, Big Thor, to go down with a massive injury, because this not only affects the 2020 season, but this affects 2021 as well. Tommy John surgery for Noah Syndergaard. I mean, like, that's like the worst news that could have happened. So I'm going to talk about the Noah Syndergaard injury a little bit more in depth. I'm also going to talk about the Chris Sale injury, because just like Noah Syndergaard, he is going down with ulnar collateral damage, ligament, whatever it's called, Tommy John surgery. He's out for the entire year for the Boston Red Sox. Baseball is still not back. Doesn't look like it's coming back for any time soon. I'm going to find some stuff to talk about baseball-wise in this video. So as always, if you guys do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Give me your thoughts and opinions on the Noah Syndergaard trade, Chris Sale, anything going on in baseball. And remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. Always talking baseball over there. I mean, like, I was talking to my boys. I was talking to Healy, and Healy tells me, don't look at Twitter, Mark. You don't want to look. So, of course, naturally, I look at Twitter, and I see Jeff Passan's tweet, and I was pretty much just silent for, 2-3 minutes. Didn't really want to talk. Wanted to just crawl into bed and go to sleep. Wake me up when 2021's around. Noah Syndergaard out for the entire season. Now, it probably couldn't have been better timing for the Mets for Noah Syndergaard if you are going to get Tommy John surgery. This is probably the best thing for the Mets is for him to get it right now, because in theory, you're only going to be missing what's probably going to be 100 games of the Major League Baseball season this year. I can't see them playing much more than that, especially with what's going on this year. And by doing it now, there's a slight chance he could be back by April 2021 if he has a fast speed recovery. I mean, is working out, is becoming extremely healthy, rehabs quickly, no hiccups along the way. Realistically, it's probably more going to be around June, maybe after the All-Star break in July in 2021, but you still can at least have him for a little bit next year. So in theory, he probably only misses one full season considering half of this year and half of next year, but it's still not good news. Yes, the Mets went out and they made some moves to address pitching depth, but you now got Michael Wacha who's going to step in as the 5th starter, and it automatically makes the team worse. I mean, there's no scenario where losing Noah Syndergaard makes the team better. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. I don't even think I should have to say it, but I'm gonna, because right now you got Jacob deGrom at number 1, then you got Stroman 2, Matz, Porcello 3, 4, and then Wacha 5, which by the way, that was only 4, but 5. I'm not saying the Mets are completely done. I still think they have enough pieces offensively, and I think their bullpen is improved. I think their starting rotation is still strong. It's not one of the best in the league without Syndergaard, without a doubt. They definitely got weaker, and I don't know how much depth they really have in the minor league system. I mean, you got Corey Oswalt, who I'm not a believer in. You got David Peterson, who maybe gets a shot this year. Walker Lockett, like, I've had enough of him. The one interesting scenario here is that the Mets do now have Jeremy Hefner as their pitching coach. He's kind of like a pitching whisperer, a pitching guru, so maybe he can figure something out with these guys in the minors to make them come up and have an immediate impact. Maybe he can fix Michael Wacha. Maybe he'll fix Rick Porcello. Maybe he'll fix Steven Matz. Maybe Steven Matz will finally nut up a little bit and pitch with some balls, because he's got the stuff. It's just, he's in his own head. He's a nutcase. But I don't think the season's completely over. I mean, we don't even have a season right now. We have no idea when it's coming back, so that's really the most important thing is, can we just get some baseball back? At this point, baseball come back, the Mets could not even make the playoffs. I wouldn't be upset. I just need something to watch. I miss sports, and specifically baseball. But realistically, this doesn't mean the Mets season is over. It's going to be a lot more difficult, because I can't imagine this is going to be the only hiccup that we have the entire 2020 season health-wise. There's going to be someone else. There's going to be nicks. There's going to be bruises. The pitching staff isn't going to be perfectly healthy like they were last year. We've already seen that this year. This is why getting depth is so important, and why making those moves like Wacha and Porcello did make a difference. Yes, they're not going to be able to replace Noah Syndergaard, not going to be able to replace his production, but the fact of the matter is that we now have a pitcher at the back end who can step in, who has been a starting pitcher before. It's just, are we going to going to get Michael Wacha, who is one of the worst pitchers in baseball, or we're going to get Michael Wacha, who's a decent 5-starter. All we need is decent. That's it. I mean, we were rocking with Jason Vargas last year. The Vargas. The Mets have done it before. They'll do it again. There's going to be injuries. This is terrible news. We hope Noah Syndergaard gets a quick and speedy recovery, comes back healthy. This is unfortunate timing for him personally because he is due to be a free agent in the 2022 season, so he misses the entire 2020 and gonna miss a good chunk of 2021. Going into a contract year that's going to hurt him. He won't be getting as much money as you probably once thought he would, but he's still going to be in an extreme bidding war because you just don't find guys who are like 6'8" and throw 100 miles an hour every so often, who have great off-speed stuff. I mean, he has stuff to be a Cy Young Award winner. Teams are going to throw a lot of money at him. Hopefully the Mets do too. I don't think this is a time where you shy away from him now because of Tommy John. But then again, we still have to see what he looks like when he comes back, but hope for a speedy recovery. This is horrible news for the Mets for the 2020 and 2021 season. This team is still in a pretty decent scenario where they can be competitive and have a chance at a wild card spot, but this is definitely a bump in the road. Another bump in the road to talk about is with the Boston Red Sox, who have just had a terrible last 12 months. Pretty much ever since after they won the World Series, it's been pretty downhill from there. They had a super disappointing 2019 season where they didn't even make the playoffs. They were terrible last year. They finished third in the AL East, underperformed massively. The pitching staff was terrible. The bullpen was terrible. I mean, they had a couple bright spots here and there. Eduardo Rodriguez stepped up last year. You got a guy like Matt Barnes now in your bullpen who looked really, really solid. And in the few games that we saw in spring training, Nathan Eovaldi looked like he was back to his old form. But then they traded Mookie Betts, and then they traded David Price, and then they lost Chris Sale to Tommy John surgery. The Red Sox are in a tough spot. They are still kind of built where if they got some players in the right pieces, they can be a competitive team. They can be a wild card contender. The American League is not very strong. You have all the guys at the top, and then everyone else is kind of fighting for those wild card spots, and it's really up for grabs there after the Rays. Well, I mean, you still have the Indians and the Red Sox, and you have some teams in the West, but there's a lot of really bad teams in the American League, and there's a lot of really good teams, and then there's the middle, and the Red Sox are kind of falling in that middle right now because they definitely don't have the pitching. Starting rotation without Chris Sale, really bad. Starting rotation with Chris Sale, still pretty bad, especially losing David Price. I mean, David Price wasn't his all-star Cy Young form anymore, but he was a solid enough pitcher. He was one of the better guys on the Red Sox staff. Now they really have Eduardo Rodriguez and Nathan Eovaldi for the 2020 season, along with a weak bullpen. You pretty much have Matt Barnes out there and maybe one or two other arms that can be usable. But this Red Sox team is significantly worse than they were at the start of the 2019 season, and they didn't play well then. As for the 2020 season, it is looking almost impossible for them to make the playoffs. They're going to need such offensive performances out of every single one of their players. They're going to need Bogarts and Devers to have MVP type seasons. Alex Verdugo to really step up and be like an everyday player, and he might not even. He's still having some injury issues. Who knows if he's going to be ready? Although now the new opening day, he might be. JD Martinez is going to have to go off. Andrew Benintendi is going to have a bounce back year. Christian Vasquez is going to have his best offensive year again. First base, still a bit of a question mark. Second base, still a bit of a question mark. What they're going to do offensively there. There's a lot of big questions here for the Red Sox, and Chris Sale going down with Tommy John surgery just makes it even more difficult. You knew there was something up with him because he just was terrible last year in 2019. He's too good of a pitcher to be pitching so poorly. Obviously now Tommy John, same thing. Is he going to be back for the 2021 season? When's he going to be back? There's all speculation there. And again, even if he does come back, is his velocity still going to even be there? He's a guy who throws so herky-jerky, who throws so unorthodox. Is he going to be able to come back and be the same pitcher? I think there's bigger questions with Chris Sale's Tommy John surgery than around Noah Syndergaard's. A guy like Noah Syndergaard can come back and probably still be a pretty effective pitcher. Will Chris Sale be able to even throw the same way? He throws so strange, so weird. I'm interested to see what his recovery looks like, almost more than Noah Syndergaard, because I feel like it's going to be harder for Sale than Noah. But yeah, the Red Sox, they are screwed. They are not in a good scenario. Whereas the Mets, they're definitely not good. They're definitely going to have to make some big moves. I'd like to see them maybe trade Andres Jimenez and try to go get a pitcher. Go make some moves for a guy with another arm. But both of these teams are not in as good scenarios as we thought going into the 2020 season. The Red Sox are in a much worse scenario. At least if they had Chris Sale every 5 days, you had a chance to win the game. Your ace is now Eduardo Rodriguez with number 2 as being Nathan Eovaldi, or you can flip-flop those either way. That rotation and bullpen, they're going to be hurting all year long. The short season is definitely going to help them. In other baseball news, I'm trying to think what we got. Yasiel Puig is still not signed. I don't think he's going to get signed. I've heard some things, some rumors that basically no one really wants to touch him with a 10-foot pole. I can understand why he's a talented player, but from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like he's going to be signed anytime soon unless some massive injuries happen to players. But this break now hurts Yasiel Puig because the Yankees probably seemed like a team that could sign him the most. Judge being hurt, Stanton being hurt. Those guys are probably going to be healthy by the time the season starts in June. So that doesn't really play into Yasiel Puig's favor. I don't know where he's going to end up. Obviously, he can make an impact for whatever team he would sign for. He's still a solid player. He's shown that he can be very good. It's just I don't necessarily know if anybody really wants to deal with him anymore. Man, I mean, like really, baseball news is so dry. Like every single sport, there's just not a whole lot going on right now. Let me take a quick look on MLB.com in case I do miss something. Yeah, I mean, besides like MLB players playing MLB The Show, there's not much to talk about. Syndergaard hurt, Chris Sale hurt, Severino hurt. We have 3 big starting pitchers that are not going to be pitching in the 2020 season. So I guess that's pretty much going to be all the news we can talk about today. There's not a lot going on. I mean, there's literally nothing going on in baseball. I'd love to know what you guys think about Noah Syndergaard, Chris Sale, all the injuries down in the comment section below. How do you think these guys are going to bounce back? Do you think they're going to be able to, or are they going to be different pitchers when they get healthy? Remember to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. That's a great way to support the channel. As well as if you have not yet subscribed, click that sub button, join the team, help me reach 150K. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc, as well as I'm going to plug TikTok. I might make a TikTok today, maybe. I don't know. I'm getting bored. I'm all cooped up inside. There's not a lot to do. And also follow me on Twitch. Everything is GiraffeNeckMarc. All links in description. That's going to be the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Tomorrow was supposed to be the video that was supposed to be today, but we had Noah Syndergaard getting hurt. So expect to see a banger tomorrow. It's going to be something different, something interesting, but I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all tomorrow for another video.